Hey, this is Matt once again. What about 10 videos that are the paid request this time for Night of Snake? Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for a Neil Breen film called Double Down from 2005, which might have been the first Neil Breen film that I think about it. Actually, I don't know what the... If you don't know who Neil Breen is, Neil Brown knows, Neil Brown shit stains. You know, people talk about worst directors of all time, and they mention Tommy Wiseau, they mention Uwe Boll, they mention Ed Wood. Neil Breen, for my money, is the worst director of all time. Writer, producer, director, the worst of all time. And that's because Ed Wood was technically incompetent, but you can kind of see kind of a fun B movie he was trying to make. Uwe Boll has a lot of issues, but sometimes he'll give you the gusto of having crazy blood, gore, over-the-top fight scenes that may be poorly done, but he's trying to give you some type of entertainment value. Neil Breen doesn't give you any of that. He is a guy that makes Uwe Boll look like Stanley Kubrick. He's a guy who... he makes these pedantic, pretentious, dialogue-heavy movies where he's just as incompetent as an Ed Wood, but he thinks he's Werner Herzog or Terrence Malick. And I know people will laugh at these movies, and I can understand it to a point, but maybe it's clips, not as an entire movie. The entire movie is just draining. And that's why I'm not going over the top angry, cursing, and all that stuff, because I know what I'm getting myself into. This is like the third or fourth, I don't know, movie I've seen from this guy. So I knew what to expect. And if you've seen one of his movies, you've seen all of his movies. He's a terrible actor. He does not know how to give any type of realistic, emotive reaction to circumstances, to events. He's very much in pausing in his words. He is a terrible actor, and he, of course, puts himself as a star of these movies. He makes these nonsensical, incomprehensible plots that I don't even think he himself could explain what the hell these movies are about. I really don't think he could explain it. I really don't. I think he would be confused. Like this one is about he's a computer hacker to expose the governments and thwart various attacks. He has he has like 3, 4, or 5 laptops, but you never see them turn on. Because I don't think any of these actually worked in real life, because you never seen one turn on. And he'll be like looking at one laptop, and we see that it's not turned on. And he has like 5, 7 cell phones. He has these little satellite dishes he puts on the back of his trunk. He's in the desert. Most of the film he's in the desert. Of course, because you're in the desert, you just film a bunch of random shit and save on your money, your budget. And he keeps droning on and is incessantly irritating, bland, dog shit voice about how I became a fighter pilot. Why is that information pertinent? It's never him being a fighter pilot means nothing to this character or this film. Him being a former fighter pilot. So why even put that in as information for the character? He's a mercenary and he's a covert agent, and he can control any computer, and the bioelectromedical implants assist me in my attacks. What the fuck that means, I don't think he knows. He just like blown his own dick. How good I am, how fantastic my character is. And I'm hired by the government, but I also don't trust them. And there's these terrorist attacks. Now, who the bad guys are and who these terrorists are, you never really get a notion of that. And how he stops them and them, you don't really get much of a notion either. The guy doesn't know how to tell a story. He doesn't know how to focus a plot. He doesn't know how to tell a story from A to B to C. He thinks it's from G to Z to C to K. Bioelectromedical implants. Yeah, just make random shit up. Why not? Make you sound so smart. He's tuna out of a can. He spills it on himself, which is probably a mistake that he left in the fucking film. He'll take measurements from water, and he'll have these needles. Sometimes he sprays whatever's in the needle onto his hand. Is that how people usually do it? Is this working? Let me spray on my hand. Why? He puts satellites on the back, and some like random guy who we don't know who it is or how he found our lead guy. He just comes up, and then he's like, oh, and he falls to the ground because of force shield. The satellite's force shield will kill folks. What the fuck is a satellite force shield? I don't know. There's a lot of filler. Like there's 1 minute that's just stock footage of going over a dam. Or there's stock footage of clubs in Vegas. Because he needs to fill up the running time. He'll sometimes see a boy version of himself for some reason. There'll be flashbacks of his woman, his love of his life, dying. But then in the flashbacks, he's wearing the same fucking clothes he wears now. So he didn't even bother to change his clothes. It's like, I'm in the desert, let's film this. And then incompetent, doesn't know how to direct, doesn't know how to write, doesn't know how to act, and people still give him money. How does he get money for all these ventures? That's what I want to know. How does he get money to keep make? There are people that can't make fan film. There's a lot of films that can't get made, but this guy can make multiple fucking films. How does he get the money? What's his trick? That's what I want to know. What's his trick? And in the flashbacks, his girlfriend is shot, and his girlfriend, his wife, whatever the fuck, I'll call him his wife just because. When she gets shot and killed, he acts like he came in his pants. Well, he's in the pool, so he came in the pool. So then he leaves her body face down the pool because, you love her so much, you don't want to get her out of the pool. And then for some reason, he decides to lay face down in the pool next to her. Why? You don't want to drown too? But right, we can see your balls. Sound like Ace Ventura. I can see your balls. For some reason, he decides to get butt naked too in the pool and face down next to his dead wife. Why? I don't think Neil Breen knows why. Maybe because I need to find a way to show the audience my balls. But yeah, sorry, I had to message someone back. But it gives me time to calm down so I'm not just spitting. So as this plot goes along, he's still in the desert. At one point, he does change clothes, so the camera's on this restroom where he goes in, and then you tell there's a cut. Did you see like the clouds change, and then he comes out? Why you're gonna have a different angle? Or hell, why? I mean, you just take off your shirt. You're in the middle of the desert. Just take off your shirt. You put on one shirt, then you cut away, and then we'll get the idea that you changed your clothes. You don't have to have the camera sit. You get out of your car, you go in, have this abrupt cut that's very obvious for anyone with the naked eye to see, and then you come out with new clothes. Like, there's easier ways to do this. And there are times where you just don't understand what's going on. I'm told, like, incomprehensible. It'll be stock footage of Vegas and clubs. And then he's on the ground next to a car in the desert, and there'll be blood on it. And he might have even gone back to the clothes he had before. I can't remember if he had on the new clothes or not. And he gets this inane, preachy dialogue bullshit and scenes. Like he's in the desert. This old man, for some reason, is in the desert. And he fell, I guess, and hit his head. And then Neil Breen is like trying to get down so he doesn't fall on his ass. And then the guy dies. Then I guess Neil Breen buries him. But it didn't look like he dug a hole. It just like he just put a bunch of rocks somewhere. I'm like, is there supposed to be a body under there? When the rocks are like this big. Then it'll go from him yelling, "Where are you?" in the desert. Then he's at a cemetery. Then he sees his mom and dad in white, talking about the afterlife. Then you cut to him having dinner with a family. I don't know who the fuck the family is. And they're having dinner, but there's nothing on their plates. They're blank plates with no food on it. So I don't know what kind of dinner this is. Then they know, oh yeah, this girl, we have had brain cancer. Then Neil Breen does this. Then he's back in the desert. Then he's talking to, I don't know, his dead wife, saying that I cured her brain cancer. But I think you find out he really didn't. How? Don't ask me how the fuck any of this leads to anything. I can't fucking tell you. I don't think anybody else can. I don't think Neil Breen can. And that's the bullshit of what he does. It's laziness. I do consider it laziness. I'm just going to fill a bunch of shit, put them together, and because it's so awful, there's some people that, he gets a lot of views on YouTube and things of that nature, and maybe people give him money, please make another shitty one. But they don't want to say that because they don't want to offend him. I don't care. You make horrible fucking films. I wish you would never make a film again. It's a detriment to movies, filmmaking. You don't know what you're doing. They're terrible. They're a chore to sit through. Because again, you see them all as again and again and again. And then he'll be like in Vegas, I guess, and he'll talk to people. They give him jobs. There'll be this random woman looking with a camera, and then she get killed, as in someone shot a paintball at her head. Who that person was, why they were filming, I don't know. Who killed her, I don't know. He's supposed to assassinate this couple, but he picked up the wrong couple, and he drugged them. I thought he poisoned them, but I guess he only drugged the guy. Then he's like, get out of the car. I picked up the wrong people. And then lies the guy down, then lies the girl next to him, and she's like awake. Then he's supposed to get to the other couple. But when he does, they're sitting upright but kill themselves, even though they're sitting upright next to each other and they have paint on their foreheads. How did they kill themselves? They had a gun that's nowhere to be found, and they put the gun here. and all you see is paint on their foreheads. So how did they die? How did they kill themselves? What the fuck happened? No one knows. There's no explanation. Just a bunch of fucking, more like ketchup. Ketchup on their foreheads. Or he'll be randomly put flour on someone. He's like, he will be dead in 5 minutes. I'm like, who the fuck was that guy? I guess he's one of the bad guys. And we don't see that guy die from the flour you put on him. And there's a part of me like, are you the terrorist? Is this the twist? You're the terrorist? But no. And there's a point where him and these two guys he's with, Neil Breen is with these other guys. They have guns on each other. They're like this close to each other. Then they pull guns. They go away. You hear gunfire, and then I guess you just assume they killed the bad guys. You don't see it. And then he's in the desert again, and he uses computers, and I guess he calls the FBI director and the CIA director. There's a lot of stock footage of people and mission control and all this other stuff, and stock footage of fires in Vegas and around there, and these horrible actors not looking at the camera, but looking over here going, we must close the hotels. We must do this. And each one, he says the same thing. Then this guy says the same thing. This guy says the same thing. And then this guy says another thing. And that guy says the same other thing. And this guy says the same other thing. And all three are horrible actors, or at least horrible direction and line delivery. And somehow that saved Vegas. Oh, and then here's some random bad guys that some random people are chasing. And one of the bad guys kills one of their own where they have a gun next to the guy. You hear a gunshot, and the guy just goes, oh. No blood, no muzzle flashes when people shoot, nothing. People on YouTube have literally done this stuff better. I'm not even going over the top on it. So yeah, it's one of those things where I just sit there and go, this is just pathetic. Neil Breen's movies are pathetic. They're pathetic. Oh, yeah, and he rides off with his ghost wife, holding hands. Maybe it'd be like Thelma and Louise, they go off a cliff. I only hope so. You can't understand the plot. You can't understand what happened. You can't understand the story, if there is a story. He has 85 questions on why this happens. There's out of the blue stock footage. There's poor acting everywhere. There's terrible makeup, terrible direction, terrible line reading, terrible issues, technical issues, bad editing, guns with no muzzle flashes, little ketchup on them. It goes from here to here. It's like he just filmed a bunch of random stuff and just put them together and put a lot of exposition dialogue where he like had this big vast story, but none of it makes sense. And he found himself out of the desert for a week. And that's the thing, you just make such a horrible fucking film, and then people on YouTube view it and they laugh at it, and then people share it and they go, oh, look how crappy this is. And then he gets funding, just look at all this buzz, and then, or maybe he's rich and he's bored. I don't know what the deal is. I really don't know. I really don't. So I don't know what else to say. To be honest, I don't know what was the last film he made, now that I think about it. The Neil Breen filmography. Maybe he did quit. Maybe my wish was granted and he did quit. So, and maybe I did get my wish. Double Down, this was the first film. I'm Here Now, Faithful Findings, Pass Through 2016, Twisted Pair 2018, Cade No, he has a 2023 film, K: The Torture Crossing, which I guess is a sequel to Twisted Pair from 2018. He's still directing movies. One, two, three, four, five, six. Six movies now. He's down to direct. Six fucking movies, including one this year. There are directors that you barely get one or two movies, but this motherfucker got six movies. Yeah, don't take it so seriously, man. No, I'm. People like this don't deserve the chance to direct and get their movies shown. And there are directors that have done great work, like Anthony Hitchcock's Waxwork, Waxwork 2, Full Eclipse. And I bet if I say a name, people know Neil Breen's name more than Anthony Hitchcock's, but Anthony Hitchcock's a much better director, much more competent. That's why, yeah, people like that, they just get fall through the cracks because they actually did a good job. They just didn't have the A plus budget to get into 2,000 movie screens. It's just a fucking shame. So with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.